Friday, you know what? I missed my invite to the Voyager Media Awards in Auckland. So I missed the opportunity to hang out with a bunch of, and I'm going to be brutally frank here, largely uppity university and educated women who want to be social justice warriors. And Jeremy Corbyn from the 7 Days program, which still gets New Zealand on air money to make its unfunny Friday night thing. And it just, from what I saw, it looked like woke central, the Voyager Media Awards. Most of the awards, of course, went to young women who want to change the world because they seem to be the people running journalism these days. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Steve Kilgallen, investigative journalist, he is bloody good. And I'm also going to say this, though you might not believe me. Andrea Vance deserved her political journalist or correspondent of the year award. I think she did deserve that. If we put the C word aside, she does have a penchant for uncovering very good stories that other people can't get. So I think actually it was a deserved win, despite the controversy that has swirled around Ms. Vance, Miss V, and the C word over the past week, and the controversy I had and the kind of brouhaha that I have had with her employer, the Sunday Star Times. In fact, I was so interested in the fact, and look, it was the perfect storm. Of course she was going to win the Voyager Media Award after she'd called most of the female senior coalition ministers C words. And after she'd had that thrown back in her face by Brooke Van Velden, and after Trippy said using that column in a parliamentary question was a mistake by the Labour Party, and now Winston Peters is on the warpath saying standards have dropped, it's terrible. And after her editor Tracy Watkins had and has, to many of you have complained, a lot of you have sent me the letters you've got saying, that was terrible of the Sunday Star Times has come back to you when you've complained and said, no, we are all good with it. And I would have been surprised if Andrea Vance hadn't won that award because it makes the story better, doesn't it? It's something new for us to get outraged about. So what I thought I'd do was I'd invite her on the program to talk about political journalism stuff because it's something I'm interested in. And we've talked a little bit in recent weeks and over the years, Andrea Vance and I always thought it's been a good professional relationship, as I don't tend to take much personally in this job. You simply cannot afford to, particularly if you see the stuff that I get on social media. So I'm going to share with you, and I shared with this online because it was too beautiful yesterday not to. I sent her a text yesterday at 12:42 p.m, my phone tells me. Any chance of you doing an interview with the platform as Political Journalist of the Year? Question mark, which I thought was quite a nice, neutral request. And this is what I got back. Don't forget, this is a woman who a week ago put me on the front page of a newspaper with photographs and a headline suggesting I was part of a conspiracy and dirty politics, and what I did was murky, a clearly defamatory setup for a story that didn't sustain that at all, and we'll come back to that later. And this is what Andrea Potty Mouth Vance came back and said to me. After the disgusting, not to mention defamatory things you and Laws have said about me in the last week, no, and I'll edit this, effing chance, but she put the whole word in, the effing word, no effing chance. Now, I actually was surprised, but I came back at her and I missed out the word have, but I meant to say, I must have missed all that. Is that a hard no then? Now, Andrea, the invitation to talk about your award and practicing political journalism as the top political journalist in the country, that invitation remains open because I'm not going to take you swearing at me and saying no effing chance. I'm not going to take that. I'm not going to take that personally because you just can't afford to in this job. I'm also going to say to you, how did I defame you? I didn't put you on the front page of our website saying murky, dirty politics. I just reported what you said. I really can't understand what you're upset about. My lawyers are standing by. You want to sue me? Knock yourself out. I've told you I thought about suing you in your publication last week, and I decided your story was so bad and had such little credibility, it was better just to get my response published. Now, on Friday, I sent out to Platform Plus members, not all of you, just to the special people who support us by subscribing to Platform Plus, everyone on the Platform Plus mailing list, and please tell me if you haven't, should have got a copy of a 630-word response I wrote last week to the Sunday Star Times, explaining why I was aggrieved, and I didn't use a swear word till the end, and I didn't actually spell the whole thing out. I sent that to you guys last Friday. Gosh, thank you all who came back to me on Friday and over the weekend saying thank you for it. We'll release that on our general mailing list and we'll put it up on the website today, but I wanted to give the Platform Plus people first dibs on that. It wasn't published. Instead, they published a letter to the editor in this week's Sunday Star Times. And I want to read that to you. And also the headline they put up, the head above, so it's on their editorial page. After they rejected, because I think I had too much truth in the one that went out on Friday. Anyone who's read it will know that the truth was probably not good for the Sunday Star Times. There's a Sharon Murdoch anti-coalition government cartoon, misogynistic anti-Judith Collins cartoon about culture wars. But then there is the headline, Plunket rejects dirty politics connection, which is an admission that you were trying to connect me with dirty politics. And you were trying to say what I was doing is murky. You were, in fact, trying to defame me. It was done maliciously. I will read the letter that they published, which is something, and I think speaks volumes. Anyway, here we go. Imagine my surprise to wake up last Sunday and find I was part of the murky evolution of dirty politics too. For some reason, your paper and associated websites chose to mention me in a story by Charlie Mitchell and Andrea Vance concerning a conference called Unsilenced held in Wellington last year. It was an odd piece, which didn't seem to sustain the clear suggestion in your front page photo and headline that I'm somehow part of a weird conspiracy of people in the orbit of New Zealand First. More curious is the fact that much of your story appears based on interviews I conducted on the platform, seeking to find out who had organised and funded the conference, a story your reporters couldn't be bothered covering at the time. You also mentioned Green MP Benjamin Doyle, whose questionable social media profile was the subject of comments from Winston Peters, who I was the first to interview on the issue. I also interviewed, initially anonymously, the person who uncovered those questionable posts. Your publication and other mainstream media seemed happy to ride the editorial coattails of the platform once we had the courage to cover the story. There was also reference, though you chose not to name him, to the online activities of, and they took this out, but I'll tell you, Samuel Hudson, and references to some feud I had with him. None of this suggests or supports the impression your article sought to create that I am in any way associated with or conspiring with any other person mentioned in the article. I have been a journalist for 40 years and have always aspired to the highest ethical standards, which has not and will not change. Whilst an apology from you would be nice, I'm not holding my breath. If I were to apply your editorial standards to this response, I'd simply ask that you stop acting like C.TSs. Sean Plunket, founder editor of the platform. So that was what I thought was my measured approach. That was what they were prepared to publish. They didn't put it on the front page. They didn't apologise. And then the same day they published that, I get told that I'm the one doing the defamation and there's no effing chance, according to Potty Mouth Vance, that she would come on this program. What a pity, as we seek dialogue and understanding. But I guess that's because the platform isn't really an activist organisation. The only thing we're activist about is truth and dialogue and freedom of speech and good journalism.